Thank you. You may be at your ease. Entertainment, I understand.
Entertainment?
Yes, that's why we're all gathered, isn't it?
Is it?
I believe it is, Sir Robert. Earlier, you were speaking, I believe, Sir Robert, of your skill at storytelling.
Was I? Oh, good. What was I doing that for?
Well, I don't know. It's this thing with. It's one of the skills that knights possess is that you ask them to do something and they pretend that it is a great effort and a thing of great difficulty. Whereas actually it's a thing of ease. They practice constantly. They do this all the time. When they begin, words just trip off their tongues and everybody's enthralled.
Well, if you want to be in the court of my son, Richard I, who is a great fan of stories himself, then you've got to get used to it. Come on, practice with us now.
Yes, of course. Right, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. A story. A story. What about a story? As you are released recently, did you know Queen Eleanor, perhaps you haven't realised that she's been so out of the centre of everything after King Henry, later King Henry II, had you locked up for how long?
16 years.
16 years. But our Queen has been released. Perhaps then I should talk about a story about being released and about a fine maiden who saves the day. Would that do?
Would that do?
Oh yes, I think that would be far preferable to the story about the prison.
In which case, this is an old legend about a mighty creature that could turn people to stone. Now, this is a true story, obviously, and this beast was known as the Red Eaton. However, so feared was this beast, the Red Eaton, that if anyone ever said its name like I just did, people would gasp, sometimes scream, just at its mention. So I'm going to say it again, and we're going to do it properly. The Red Eaton! Ah! Yes, but it was far more feared than that. The Red Eaton! Ah! Thank you very much. For, like I said, he could turn people to stone, and the proof that this creature did exist is in this realm. Wherever you travel from the north to the south to the east to the west, you will find in different locations there are stone circles. This is from when the kings of old would send their knights to try and stop this Red Eaton, and yet they would surround it, it would get closer and closer, it would blink its eyes, and all the soldiers would turn to stone. No one could make this creature stop. But this story, I'm under attack, I yield. This story, however, is about two boys, two brothers, who were so sure that they could be the ones to stop the Red Eaton. They were the ones that would be able to stop it. In fact, one of the boys is right there. He was the eldest of the two boys. And what is your name? Freddie. Are you sure? No. Freddie was the eldest of the two boys, and he was absolutely certain that he would be able to best this beast. Now, he did have his younger brother, who is over here. Your name?
Juan.
What's it?
Juan.
Juan. Everyone cares. Perfect. So, Freddie and Juan. Now, they do have a younger sister, but they didn't ever pay enough attention to her. This is you. What is your name? Francesca, thank you very much. Francesca was a shy, coy girl, but she was, of course, very, very wise. Now, Freddie was certain that he was going to be able to save the day. And so one day he jumped up out of the seat that he was sat upon, and that day was, thankfully, today, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, Freddie! Rubbish. Freddie, stand up. Thank you very much. Freddie was certain that he was ready to go off into the world to prove himself a man and to save the entire realm from the Red Eaton. He flexed his muscles. But he did it in his own time because he didn't want people watching. Now, he was so certain that he could best it, but just in case something went wrong, he had a very special little eating knife. And he thought, maybe I could leave this behind. If something happens to me, this is almost like a magic eating knife. You see, at normal times, perfectly fine. But if anything bad or ill should happen to him, the blade would begin to rust. He thought, maybe I could leave this with my younger brother. And if something happens to me, my younger brother will promise that he will come and save me. Will you save your older brother? He promises. Now he's about to set off, but he thinks, what do I need? I need supplies. I need my weapon. He's got a sword. He's got all this thing. I need food. I need food. And so he goes to his younger sister. And he says, can you make me some bread? And she, of course, smiles, as she always does. Nods her head. She says, yes. But, though I have got the flour that I shall need, I do not have the water that I shall need to mix it. Can you just go down to the well? It's very heavy. Can you bring it back? He'd been flexing his muscles. He knew he could manage this. He thought of this as a sort of training exercise. So he takes the bucket. Here's the bucket. Very good. He runs down to the well, which is just over there. He fills it up, and he comes running back. He does this all the way over. The bucket goes down to the well. Splash! He fills up on the road, which brings the bucket back up. Takes the bucket, he goes back over towards his sister. All the way. He takes the bucket over, gives it to the sister, and she starts making this loaf of bread, but she thinks it's slightly odd. Why didn't he fill the bucket all the way to the top? Maybe his muscles weren't really up to it, but she didn't want to say anything. Anyway, she makes a loaf of bread. She gives him the loaf of bread to take away with him. So he pops it in his bag with all of the other belongings, and he sets off on the road. And as he is travelling, of course, he's been munching a little bit on the bread, and he's walking around, and he really fancies something else to go with the bread. What goes really well? What do I really love? Bacon. Bacon. Who likes bacon? Yes. Do you like bacon, Freddie? Don't like bacon? Right. Fair enough. Sir Freddie, however, did like bacon. And he saw a swineherd and pigs who was just a bit. And he thought, well, maybe I can have one of those pigs. I could go and ask him for it. Could you just go and ask this man, can I have one of your pigs? And the man said, no, because these pigs, they don't belong to him really. They belong to somebody far, far greater. Someone who's actually really quite scared of. And if he gave away one of these pigs without permission, he might just be turned to stone because they belong to the... Ah! You didn't hear it over here, but he said, the Red Eater! Now Freddie just thinks, this is nonsense. What a silly story. It belongs to the Red Eater. And so he says, look at that. Oh, tick, run! He's not very good at running, Freddie. However, he's stolen one of these pigs. What a terrible thing to do. Naughty man. However, he's been travelling a few days now. He's been eating his pig, he's been eating the bread. He's got a bit fed up with this, and he thinks, oh, what else do I like? I like a mutton. Sheep. Maybe I could get a sheep. And he sees a shepherd over there. And he thinks, I'm going to ask for a sheep. You go and ask for a sheep. Very much. No, why not? Who do they belong to?
The Red Eater.
Nonsense, he thinks. Absolute rubbish. And so he points at something and says, look at that. And as he take a sheep, go! With such enthusiasm. And he's been eating on this bit of ham, the bacon he's been eating now, and mutton. And he's been wandering and just searching for days and days, not really knowing where he's going to stay or what he's going to do next, until he sees this magnificent castle on the horizon. He thinks, that's where I shall stay. I'm going to make my name for myself over there. So he goes straight up to this great big door of the castle, and he knocks on the door. 1, 2, 3. Very good. And as he knocks on the door, no answer. So he thinks, let's go in. So he pushes the door open. Squeaky. He walks inside and looks at this amazing hall. Nobody here. So he shouts hello. But nobody heard him because it was so quiet. So he shouted it a bit louder.
Hello.
Better. Still nobody answers. So do it one more time, just in case.
Hello.
No answer. A deserted castle. How amazing! This shall be my new home, and I shall rule from here. So he goes in, he settles himself down. In fact, why don't you go and take a seat at the very front? If you don't mind.
No.
Perfect. Not up next to her, obviously, but on the dais. Perfect. This is his new realm. He's going to rule from here. He's so happy until, of course, from down the end of the corridor, he hears it. Quiet at first, but then it gets louder. The doors fly open. Who has stood before him but this giant, the Red Eagle? Who dares come into my home? Who dares steal from me? Takes one of my sheep, takes one of my pigs, and now sits in my hall, thinking to steal from me. What is your name? Freddy. Freddy thinks this is his moment. Draw the sword, save himself. So he draws out his sword. As soon as he does, Freddy blinks, it turns to stone and falls onto the ground. He doesn't know what to do. He's trapped, cornered by the Red Eagle. The Red Eagle thinks, I shall have some fun out of this. I will give you a chance to redeem yourself. I have 2 pieces of paper. On one I shall write the word life. On the other I shall write the word death. You get to choose which one is to be your making. Choose a hand. Which one? You're right. Sure. Ready? He takes the piece of paper in his hand. He looks at it, blinks. The next morning, the young brother checks the blade. Can you see any rust on you?
Yeah.
There is rust upon the blade. Something has happened to Freddy. Freddy, go take a seat. The younger brother jumps up. It's his turn. He knows what he needs. He gets his sword, he gets his backpack, he needs food! Food! The sister! Bread! Quick, get some water from the well. He gets water. He runs over to his sister who's about to make some bread. Very good. Look at this. As soon as he gets there, he gets in the bucket of water, but she thinks how strange that there's not enough water in the bucket. Why didn't he fill it up even more? She makes the bread, she gives him the bread. He sets out on the road. He eats bread. It's very well. Just like his brother, he's not used to the finer things in life and thinks, oh, look, a swineherd. He's got pigs. Go and ask him if he can have one.
Give me a pig!
No, give me a pig. It doesn't even matter. He just goes straight to the point. However, he's not allowed one because they belong to the... I think it's nonsense. So he says, what's that?